This video, I'm going to go through and show you how to remove the dashboard of a 2007 Volkswagen Touareg according to the actual manual and instructions provided. Don't do it any other way. This video has some time lapses in it. It's going to go through and just kind of explain the steps and the procedures to take out the dash in a Volkswagen Touareg. So all done by manual. Hopefully this helps you. Enjoy. So there's some documentation online, but there's no videos on how to actually remove a dash. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is start by parking your steering wheel in about an upside down turn. I just do about 180 degrees turn to the left or right. That way your steering wheel basically is upside down. You'll want to leave your shifter in the lowest gear. Try to take the steering column and move it all the way out or move it down. That'll definitely help. The next step is to actually remove the radio and the center console clusters. So the radio comes out with some radio keys. Make sure you get these. These are definitely going to be helpful. You'll use these four to poke it in, and then the whole radio will come out. You'll take out a few screws here. Remove the HVAC control unit. So that just comes out with two pins, prongs that or latches that you just use a little screwdriver. They latch in right about here, and then what we'll do is just slide that whole thing out. Before you slide it out, you're going to have to remove the connectors. They come out in kind of a random order. I think I started with this one and then was able to go to this one and then these two. Those are going to be specific, but they all have matching tabs, so you don't have to deal with knowing which one goes where. They actually only go into one place. So once you take that out, then you can set that aside. I would also recommend when you take this piece out, just kind of make note of where they are, but they can only go in one way. Like the white one is over here on the left, well, now on the right, and then the other colors kind of set only one way. So take some time and make sure that you organize your cables, because it'll make everything go in a whole lot nicer. Then once you get those all taken out, you'll have this center cleared. And then after that, you'll have some trim pieces. They all just pop right off. So you'll take off both of the fuse panel covers, and then once those come out, you'll be able to, with a little screwdriver, pry these out. There's a light cable or an illuminated power cable right in here that you'll want to make sure that you disconnect. And then this piece comes out by squeezing these two tabs here, and then you drop it, and then you can disconnect that. This piece for the key trim comes out just by a gentle pull, and then this whole piece comes out also with a gentle pull. Next, you're going to want to undo the two screws that hold the trim steering column piece in. So there's one here and one here. Just take those two out, and then you'll have to undo these two screws here. These are little ones that have built-in washers, so those two will come out. After that piece is taken out and set aside, you will have access to your instrument cluster. So there's a couple screws up here that we'll want to take out and remove. The bimini comes off with two screws here, and then you'll slide it forward. And then what we'll be able to do is access two screws back here and these two that will take this center section out. So I just loosened those four screws. Oh, I forgot the fifth one, of course, in the center, so let's do that quickly. Hopefully I won't drop it after we take that out. Remove this piece. Again, there were two back here. You can see one there and one there. Set that off to the side, and then that will give us access to our panel, and we will just finagle that out. I'll do that off camera. Basically, I'm sliding it to the side and then angling it out and disconnecting the two connectors on back. The two connectors, the green and the purple, or the blue, come out of those two spots. And then what that'll allow us to do is just take the entire instrument cluster, set it aside, and now we have access to everything that we need back here. So we're going to take off this piece. There's a couple screws up here, 1, 2, and then a handful over here on this side. We'll take those off, followed by the screws that hold this plastic covering piece. I believe there's 3 under here. 1, 2, and maybe 3, or just 2. We'll take those off, and then we'll actually have to disconnect this parking brake, and that just pops out from right there. So once we remove those off camera, this whole plastic piece and undersiding till about here will slide right out. Once you remove the two screws up here and one over here that actually holds that half of the panel, and you drop this shield cover and remove the connector that plugs in the little light down here. You're going to be exposing a couple screw holes right up here. So there's going to be a little hard to see under here, but we'll take these guys off down here and do that right after we set this out of the side. I'll try to get this one on video and turn on my extra auxiliary light. So we'll go one. And most of these screws are all the same, so I'm just setting them on the floor right down here because they don't really matter that much. Cool. Oh, looks like I already didn't put that guy in. So now this whole thing should come right out. Careful with your little connectors because they actually have pins, guiding pins that go in, like these guys right here, so don't break those. It's a little annoying when they break. And then we'll just go ahead and unplug our dimmer switch and then our headlight control switch, if I can actually try to do that on camera. So might not be able to do it. I'm talented, but not that talented. So I'll do that off camera, but then we'll take this guy off and then remove our parking brake connector here again, and then take this whole piece and set it aside. We've got that panel now removed, so that exposes a couple wires here. I've got my turbo boost gauges and some grounds, and we have that piece exposed. Next, we're going to move on to the glove box and take the glove box out. Next, we actually don't have to take out the glove box, but we have to take out the screws around the glove box. So there's 13 of them. We've got a bunch. I'm not going to count them all, but we've got one here, a couple down here, 2, 3, mine are broken, 4, 5, 6, 7 on here. I don't recall removing these. Those actually, I have an X on them, believing I don't have to take them out because I think they hold something else in the back. And then we're going to close that and remove actually 2 more in there. So we've got to take those out. I've got a CB radio, so I'm going to take that out. And that should allow us to basically get everything here. And we've got a couple more under on this side if I haven't gotten those out already. So this whole bottom console will come out next. So I inserted a little time lapse as to what's going to happen with the removal of the center console. So just a handful of screws, pop that right out. A couple gotchas, you will have a couple of these wires. One goes up there as the illumination for the vent, and the other is for the glove box. So there's 2 that actually go to the glove box, one for the glove box light, and I guess one for a latch of some sort or a temperature sensor of some sort, and those are just dangling right there. Now I've got a bunch of aftermarket components right here. This is for my backup camera. I've got a Bluetooth adapter down there, and then something not a lot of cars have, but that's good to keep an eye on, is this black box. That is actually your headlight autofocusing system. So AFS devices that controls, on certain cars, the headlight range based on your steering. So it's adaptive headlights, if you will. So that's the device if you're looking for that. And we're going to continue on with finding the screws that actually hold the rest of the dash in. The next piece to remove is going to be the connector down here. So we've got a handful of screws that hold on a brace. So we're going to take that out according to the manual. The 4 screws that hold it in are going to be down here, here, and 2 on the other side. So we're going to try doing that all one-handed as well. Okay, so there's 1 screw. Two screws. Come up and jump over here. Three screws. And the other one is going to be right down here, maybe. Supposed to be a fourth one that's holding it in. Guess I had forgotten that. But now the little tab that sits right here, that little tab just ends up going in to the hole right there. So you'll need that metal brace bar, but now we can take this piece and we can set it aside. Because I've already done this once before, the instruction manual says to pry up the speaker. I was very hesitant and very scared that I'd actually break some of the pins holding it. So what I did is I actually ended up cutting the wire and actually made it a little longer. So I spliced in extra wires here that go from the original cable harness to here. So I just cut them and spliced in a quick connect. So that way all I have to do is disconnect this, and that'll allow me to separate the cables. And if you don't have that disconnect, then what you'll want to do is try to pry up the speaker here on top. There could be two things. There's definitely most likely a speaker under there, like a little tweeter. And then if you have something for Climatronic, there's a sensor back here. I think that measures the sun intensity and adjusts the air conditioning accordingly. So make sure you disconnect both of those, and then you'll be able to kind of feed this wire harness out. If you were worried that you didn't want to break it, go ahead and cut the wires, but it's a pain to reslice and resolder them. I'd recommend not doing that. I'd actually probably just suggest in the future taking off that speaker cover, making sure that you do extra diligence and be extra careful so it doesn't crack. Next, we're going to want to remove the airbag, and those are some 10mm bolts. So I've got a 10mm socket and some extensions. We're also going to want to be very careful taking out the airbag, obviously so it doesn't blow. I've got my headlight on, so hopefully I'm not blinding anyone. We just lift the little white clip or green clips up. There's a green one on the left. We just lift it up, squeeze that out. There's one, and then we lift the other one up, squeeze the tab down, and pull it out. And they also only go in one way. I have got the purple on the right and the green on the left. And so we set those wires out of the way. And then let's go ahead and take out some bolts. Here's our 10mm brass bolts, or gold color bolts. I don't know if I'll be able to get the one here out easily. Yep, I actually spoke too soon. Not a problem getting that one out, but it's kind of in the way, so you might not have the right tool. So start it and then get the rest of it by hand. Take this guy. Take out 3 of those, and then we have 4 10mm from the underside lifting up. There, and here's our wonderful airbag. So we've got to set that aside, and hopefully this bomb doesn't go off on us. We got that taken out, so I'll get a quick video of what that looks like underneath so we can see. So the bolts that we took out were 1, 2, and I think a third one here, and then there were 4 little 10mm nuts that came from these posts, and those so just undo those and the whole airbag comes right out. And then of course these little grommets or plugs are the things that can just be disconnected in order to get the airbag out. Then the final 7 bolts to get the whole dash out are actually kind of hidden, so I'll show you where they are. Obviously 1 hidden way back here. 2, I know it's hard to see, but if you look underneath, there's 1 right there. 2, so you got 2. Then 3, okay, 3. Then we have 4, 5, and then way over here 6, and then underneath here next to the outlet, or next to this, we got 7. So remove those 7, and then the whole dash will come out. We'll try to do that in a time lapse. with that time lapse, I actually had a trim piece that I actually had a little wedge in. There's a pin back over in that corner that was actually being blocked by this, so I took that one pillar screw off, and now you can see that we have full access to this. Now I'm not actually going to take it out. What my goal is if I can get enough cable length here, my only goal is to re-insulate the heater box and all that foam. You can kind of see all that foam stuff right there in the back. All that's kind of disintegrated, and you can really see it through here way in the back. I'm going to be putting new foam strips on this, so that way this whole dash can seat properly, and we'll just get some insulation strips in there.